which could raise interest rates on December 14th. Chair Janet Yellen is set to appear before the Joint Economic Committee on November 17th this week, and more than a dozen other Fed officials are due to speak during the coming week. Data on inflation, housing, manufacturing, consumer spending will also draw plenty of attention. Earnings from consumer-related companies will set the tone for the key holiday sales season. The National Retail Federation expects retail sales in the U.S. for November and December to increase a solid 3.6%, significantly higher than the 10-year average of 2.5%. Key companies set to report include Dick's Sporting Goods, Home Depot, TJ Stores, Lowe's, Target, Limited Brands, Best Buy, J.M. Smucker, Walmart, The Gap, and Abercrombie & Fitch to round off earnings on Friday morning. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is Channels TV.
Thanks, Jill. Russia's economy minister, Alexei Ulyukayev, has been detained in connection with an alleged bribe. According to Russia's main anti-corruption body, Mr. Ulyukayev received a payment of $2 million. He is the highest-ranking Russian official held since the 1991 coup attempt in what was then the USSR. The apparent sting operation came after months of electronic surveillance, including phone tapping. The investigative committee said that the minister would soon be charged. If found guilty, he could face a prison sentence of between 8 and 15 years. Now let's bring you back home, taking a look at how our fixed income market is faring today, Tuesday, the 15th of November. Rita Chi-Menemen is a fixed income dealer with Access Bank, and she joins us from Lagos. Hello, Rita.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Take us through today's trading session.
I think today market still opened on a bearish note across all the trading securities. However, on the treasury bills, what we saw today was on the shortest tenor, let's say the maturities between November to December maturities and partly January, we've seen a bit of interest on those maturities. So we see yields drop by an average of 30 basis points on that. However, on the longer tenor, we still see yields still remained at 18.5. For bonds markets, what we saw today was a bearish trend. We've seen no interest from the locals, no appetite from the pension funds and even the asset managers. And in addition, we have auction tomorrow on both the bonds and treasury bills. So we typically see this trend continue, and we expect the yields to come out where market is at the moment. So what we see today is a bit of rise in yields across both markets.
Before we talk about tomorrow's auction, is there any particular part of the market that is the most attractive to investors?
No, I didn't get it clearly. Sorry.
Is there a particular part of the market, the long end of the market or the short end, that is the most attractive to investors?
Of course, the most attractive is the short end. A one-year treasury bill is offering at 18.5. If you look at it effectively, we are talking about almost 23%. So it still remains very attractive for the investors compared to the long-dated instrument, which is still trading around 15.5, 15.67%. So the shorter dated still remains attractive at the moment.
Let's talk about tomorrow's auction. Can you just give us a breakdown, if you have the information, as to how the auction will be?
Tomorrow we have the two auctions for treasury bills and bonds, all at the same time. What we'll see basically is a rise in yield, expected rise in yields coming from where inflation closed in October. We saw inflation gained for 48% coming from September to close at 18.33. So that will stimulate expectation of high yields on both markets. However, for short dated, we still see it pegged at 18.5.
Okay. But
the long-dated instrument, which is the bonds, we see it shift a bit, maybe an increase of 15 to 20 basis points from where it closed as our last month's auction.
Okay.
So that's what we expect basically for auction tomorrow.
Do you know how much will be on offer?
Yes, for the bonds market, is 93 billion in total that will be auctioned. And for the treasury bills, I don't know the exact figure, but we are looking at above 100 billion as well on that. So really,
okay.
It's a huge. So we have some maturities on treasury bills.
Okay.
That will just be a rollover on their end. But the bond is a total new borrowing about like 3 billion.
Thank you so much, Rita Chiemenem, a fixed income dealer at Access Bank, for your insights. U.S. cigarette maker Reynolds American has rejected a buyout offer worth $47 billion. That's an equivalent of £38 billion from the British American Tobacco. Last month, it proposed buying the rest of the business to create the world's biggest tobacco firm. But we're seeing that the deal has been rejected. Reynolds declined to actually give explanations as to why this was so. Now, British American, which already owns 42% of Reynolds, makes brands including Rothmans. It has seen a shareholder in Reynolds since 2004. It's been a shareholder in Reynolds since 2004. EasyJet earnings, we're seeing the pre-tax profit in the company in the year to 30th September falling 27.9% to £495 million, but it was in line with a warning given last month, according to analysts. Passenger numbers rose 6.6%. The pound sterling's weakness, the impact on air travel of terror attacks and air traffic control strikes, all of these affected the bottom line of the company. EasyJet also confirmed that it has set up a continental-based airline ahead of the UK's exit from the EU. Although passenger numbers rose 6.6% to 73.1 million, revenues fell 0.4% to £4.67 billion as the airline cuts fares. The carrier had suffered a series of external shocks, including the impact on air travel of terror attacks across Europe, Egypt and Tunisia, air traffic control strikes in France, and political turmoil in Turkey. It's time for